He said, "Unfortunately, this is where your Pokemon journey ends. There is nothing beyond this point, and you will remain in this room forever. I am sorry." What? That's it? It can't be. I walked around the room multiple times and tried leaving, but alas, I could not. I sat there disappointed. As creepy as the game was, I felt such a strong need to finish it. After a few moments, I tried speaking to Giovanni again. This time, he just simply said, "I am sorry." Every time I spoke to him, that's all he would say. "I am sorry." I tried talking to him from the side, but it didn't work. Then tried talking to him from behind, in the space right before the wall at the end of the room. He turned and said, "I am sorry. I truly am." A battle sequence started. Finally, productiveness. "Giovanni has no choice," came up the text box, as opposed to "Giovanni wants to fight." That was weird, but I brushed it off like every other weird thing in the game. The battle started. "Giovanni sent out," is all the next text box said, and the Pokemon he sent out was none other than the Invisible, at level 100. I once again sent out Scyther against what I could only assume was a Pokemon. This time I could actually fight. Every time the Invisible used a move, it would say, "used ... and nothing would happen. Every time I used Strength or Cut, it would miss. Every single time. So the battle was never going to end. Finally, I decided to use Flash. What happened next was quite unexpected. The Invisible became visible. The Pokemon was none other than a Scyther, but a darker version, much like the dark green tint cast over the town. The sprite was also strange. I can only describe it as sinister, evil looking, I guess. We fought. My moves didn't miss this time, but they did little damage to a level 100 Scyther. The dark version of my Pokemon now knew the moves of my Pokemon as well, and after using Cut twice, my Pokemon was defeated. Giovanni came on the screen and said once more, "I am sorry." I was then back in the gym, even though my only Pokemon had fainted. I double-checked and Scyther did in fact have 0 HP. I walked over to Giovanni and talked to him one last time. This is what he said. "You have to find a way out. He has control over us all. He will only be another victim. There's a door..." His sentence was cut off by an animation. The animation was of Scyther grabbing Giovanni from behind. I stared at the still image for a while. Giovanni looked so frightened that it made me sick to my stomach. After maybe 3 minutes, the image faded out, and I was back at the gym. The room was the same, but Giovanni was gone. I tried to leave, but as soon as I reached the door, another animation started. It was the same as the last one, but instead of Giovanni in Scyther's grips, it was my Scyther. Now I was scared. After a few minutes, the animation played out and my Scyther was cut to pieces. Even in the low quality of the animation, it still introduced a great deal of fear into me. The animation ended and skipped to an image of my Scyther's head, looking ever so frightened as it lay there in darkness, and a text box popped up saying, "You failed." Here the game froze. Disturbed, I slid the cartridge out of my Game Boy and threw it at the wall. I ran downstairs and poured myself a glass of water. After calming down, I called Billy and had him come over. I needed someone else to experience this. Needless to say, I was freaked out. Billy came over rather quickly. "What is it? What happened?" I explained everything to the best of my ability, and he just laughed. "Yeah, right," he said. I told him I would prove it. I ran upstairs, picked the cartridge up off the floor, and ran downstairs and showed him. He was unimpressed. How long did it take you to make this? I was a little angry at this point. I didn't make it. It's real. Play it, you'll see. I handed him the Game Boy, and he put the cartridge in. He turned it on, but nothing happened. He took the cartridge out, blew on it, but to no avail. It didn't work anymore. I must have damaged it when I threw it at the wall. Billy laughed again. You had me going for a second. He then left and went home while I sat there, still taking in what had just happened just moments before Billy arrived. I thought aloud. Giovanni said there was a door. Maybe I should have looked for it instead of trying to leave. Really, my thoughts were pointless because to this day I can't get the cartridge to work. I wish I'd looked for a door and avoided seeing that animation. In a way, it traumatized me, and I haven't been the same since. As you can see, I still have the cartridge, and I scanned it using my printer so you could see a close-up photo of what it looks like. I know it's a little blurry, but it's the best I could do. This game is real.